Hey, vinyl community, it's David. Um, it just so happens that I just wrapped up filming of my latest video of my record fair haul, and I just woke up from a nap and went and grabbed a coffee, filmed the video. So you'll notice on my next video that I'm going to post later, I'm wearing the same clothes. But yeah, I'm just reading the comments here. So basically, when someone dies, it's kind of a common thing now. People will start posting photos of their record collection of that artist or band, and they start jumping to YouTube, and nothing wrong with that. That's not really me. Yeah, it is very sad. But anyways, that's not really me. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm not one to start jumping the gun, and I've never jumped to social media before to talk about someone dying or posting pictures of my collection. But I just wrapped up filming, and the camera was set up, and my friend Tom is the biggest Tom Petty fan in the world, and I started getting messages that he went to cardiac arrest. And I was texting him. He's at work, and we kind of deciphered that he went to cardiac arrest. We just found out that they pulled the plug. I'm sure this is all big news now. So yeah, I apologize. I'm not going live to be the first or to do this for any other reason than the camera's set up. I just filmed. I just wrapped up my last video, and we just found out he died. In fact, this album right here was part of my video I just filmed. But Tom Petty dying is, well, that's one that hurts bad. I guess we all have our story to tell about how we discovered Petty. Hi, Alan. Sorry, everyone. I'm trying to read comments. It's anyways, we all have our story to tell about Tom Petty, and Tom Petty's one of those people. A lot of people just don't like Tom. It's like I've never heard anyone say Tom Petty's all right. You either just hate the guy, don't hate the guy, you hate music, or you love him. My wife does not like Tom Petty, but she was just home. She was at home lunch from at home having lunch one break from work, and even though she doesn't like the music, she wasn't happy to hear of his passing. My first experience with Mr. Petty was I saw the video for yeah, a lot of people saw people commenting that they just saw Tom Petty. My friend Tom just saw him actually in Vancouver, I believe, just I think last week. I saw the video for You Got Lucky on MTV, and I was a little bit too young to be into Tom Petty first album, but in fact, I'm just right here, and right in my arm's reach is the first Tom Petty album I ever owned. Was this one here? Was Pack Up the Plantation. How old? I was 14 years old. I bought this. Oddly enough, because I saw the video for So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, the cover of the Bird song, which was on here. Then I was just a fan ever since. In fact, I remember these stories. I know mean nothing to you, but I remember my sister, my closest sister, had gone into labor, and I rushed to the hospital. This is when Full Moon Fever came out, and her labor was dragging out and dragging out and dragging out. And I remember leaving the hospital to run to a local record store because Full Moon Fever had just come out, and didn't tell my family this, but I snuck off and went and bought the cassette tape and returned like nothing just went on. Yeah, so that's like I said, we all have our story to tell about Tom Petty, and that's kind of my story. I'm a big fan of Tom Petty, as a lot of you are. You can see by the comments right now. Yeah, and it's quite a shock. People are commenting. It's just, I mean, how shocking is this one? Um, he's currently on tour. Like I said, some of my friends just saw him. In fact, I had a friend at work who traveled to over the summer. He played England with Stevie Nicks. He did a one-off there, and a friend traveled to England from work. Um, yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry, someone was commenting that he canceled some shows. He wasn't in the best of health. I mean, from what I gather, and you know that Tom Petty documentary that's on Netflix, I literally have probably watched that 10 times all the way through. It's a long one. And what I gathered through that is that, and whether smoking played a part of it, I don't know. But it looked like he was still smoking, and maybe, I'm not sure if that played a part. Who knows? I mean, it's all conjecture now. Cardiac arrest can come from anything, but I'm sure smoking didn't help. Speaking as a smoker. Anyways, but all these deaths make you want to think twice about, doesn't it? Anyways, yeah, like I said, not to seem not to seem like I'm just doing this for clicks or views, but everything was set up, and like I said, Tom Petty played a part in my video I just filmed, and I've just been on I think I talked about this a couple of videos ago. I've just been on I've been on a couple month tear of listening to Tom Petty a lot, and just what a shock, and I didn't. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm guessing he did have some issues with drugs, and I'm sure it all culminated living that rock and roll life that one does. Sorry, like I said, I'm trying to read. I'm reading the comments here, everyone. Sorry, that awkward pauses here. But yeah, that's way too young to die. My God. It seems like it seems like we've had a really bad stretch of a year and a half, 2 years of people dying. But maybe that's just. I'm guessing it's just all these iconic artists are all at that age now where they're all passing on. So I'm not sure if it's. A lot of people called it the jinx of 2016 and now going to 17. But I guess I put it down to just all these artists we look up to because we're all of a similar age within reason. You know, a lot of our favorite artists are of that age now. You know, and all these artists we grew up with are just now in their late 50s and 60s. Sorry, I'm just reading more comments. If I don't see the comments right away, so they're coming up and disappearing, and you all know I'm blind as a bat. So yeah, I mean that's I do, like I said, I just chalk it up to these artists we all admire and grew up with are now of that age where they're dropping, and it's really sad. Yeah, I understand. It's a state of shock too. I just don't know what to say, really. People are just commenting that they just saw him. It's one of those. Yeah, I'm kind of stammering a bit, but it is one of those things where this literally just came right out of the blue. As far as I know, there was no indication of anything going on with him. Someone just commented, sorry, that he was not feeling well lately, but. Nothing that was newsworthy that would make one think that it wasn't like Lemmy, where you saw him deteriorating in front of your eyes, and or someone who was just having prolonged bad health. But yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to jump on quickly and just express, I guess, the sadness. It's not. I guess it is sadness. It's just. One of those moments where your heart drops and you just think about it is a very sad day in rock history. Absolutely. It's if nothing else, I always chalk this up to, you know what, when one of your favorite artists comes to your town, never take it for granted they're going to be back around again. Because sometimes, it's worth shelling at the bucks to see your favorite artist, because you never know. Fleetwood Mac's making another jaunt around, I'm guessing. And you know what? If you've never seen them, go see them, because Buckingham and Nicks and Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, and they're all of that age now. It could be any month now. You never know the way things are going. So maybe this might be, maybe inspiration for people to go out and see your favorite artists when they come to town, and celebrate these artists that we grew up with, because the way things are going, they're not going to be around much longer. I can only imagine the next 5 years how many more are going to be. Some of my favorite artists I grew up with, I'm going to speak of just, that I truly grew up with in new wave bands, for instance. They're all of the late 50s now, of that age now. And yeah. Sorry, once again, I'm just reading comments. Sorry, I don't mean to have awkward pauses here. But, all these bands that we grew up with in the 80s, if you're of my age, they're late 50s, early 60s now. And these ones that come out of left field and kind of punch you in the stomach like Tom Petty, this is gonna ring around the world. This one's gonna hurt a lot of people, and this one's gonna cause a lot of buzz, and this one's gonna cause a big empty space in music. And I think that's the biggest part. His last album was arguably one of his strongest albums he's ever made, Hypnotic Eye, and it's this gap now of an honest artist who didn't take any shit from the business, who released honest albums, and that's gone. And that's another chapter of our music history that's now gone. And it won't be replaced, because there's the artists that we're cultivating now. I think they're all trained to toe the line, and they're not trained to be like Tom Petty, who stuck up for his beliefs, and he would rather go broke than give in. And yeah, Hypnotic Eye, yeah, great album. And like I said, I just kind of want to touch on that really quickly, is that the way he stood up, the way he talked the truth, like that whole chunk, there's a huge segment of music that's been out the window, and there's not going to be anyone to replace it. It just seems like Tom Petty was genuine in that, and anyone who kind of kicks against the system nowadays, it seems almost a little bit contrived, almost like it's a marketing tool, where Tom Petty would rather, Damn the Torpedoes almost never came out because of the fight he had with his record label. He was willing to sit on one of the most classic albums of all time, then give in. So that kind of tells you a little bit about Tom Petty. And if you haven't seen that documentary on Netflix, I fully encourage you to go watch it. It's a really good insight into how strong-willed he was. And a lot of these comments, sorry, I'm going to read afterwards, because I think I've commented before. I have trouble kind of adjusting to these damn lenses. I'm reading so close. Anyways, I will read them afterwards, sorry. And please watch that documentary on Netflix, Running Down a Dream. You really, really see a portrait of a man who was as passionate and as genuine as it gets. And there was nothing contrived about that guy. And having said that, I'm going to listen to some Tom Petty. And just kind of, yeah. It's been, how old am I? It's been a 30-year journey with Tom Petty. No, it's been about 33 years with me and Tom Petty. Riding the trails all through the 80s into the 90s and 2000s. And I hope you all, if you're a fan of Tom Petty's, I hope you all kind of raise a glass and pay proper tribute to someone who we will never, ever, ever see again in the music business. So grab your album of choice, and let's just all remember Tom Petty. And yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of was said after Bowie died. Bowie filled a part of music, and other people, Lemmy and those people like that, but Tom Petty filled a void in music that will never be filled again. And it's not kind of a sad day. It's a very, very sad day. So thank you for everyone who's watching. Thank you if you're commenting. I'm going to, not to drag this out too long, I'm just going to click off now and say thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to just close that out, and I'm going to close this video off now. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Rest in peace, Tom Petty. You were the greatest.